Alright folks, welcome to episode 190 of It Burns When IP. I am your host, Blake Clayton, and in IBWIP Studios, we have Carrie Nation in the Speakeasy. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for
We'll go around. We have Zach, Tyler, Jared, Garrett, and Mark.
Yep.
Alright, so welcome to the show and welcome back. This, Carrie Nation was the first band to play in IBWIP Studios live. And we'll put a link to that as well. I think it was you guys are Filthy Still, so we'll say you.
Yeah. All right.
So you guys are on tour right now, and one of the questions I had was your last release, which was Hatchetations. It came out in August 2013. Do you guys have plans for a new album coming up?
We're done.
Nope.
No?
We're
done.
Retiring?
Yeah.
You heard it first.
We're gonna keep touring.
Riding this one out.
Right. So
we're gonna keep touring super hard, but we're gonna just keep playing the same set probably for, I don't know, at least 6 more years.
6 more years?
Something like that.
It's got legs left on it.
Yeah. It is a good album, but
We're still working out the kinks anyway, so.
So, what are your spring and summer plans for the band? I don't know if you guys want to take turns.
Well, this summer we're going to Europe for the first time.
Really?
Which is going to be awesome.
Mighty Roots Europe.
No, Mighty Roots Europe, playing that festival, and then we're going to tour around for 43 days around Germany, Netherlands, and Belgium. We got a date in France so far, and that's about everything that's coming together. There's more coming, but we're piecing it together now.
There's a lot of bands that are going over, like, thanks to, like, Muddy Roots Europe and stuff. There's a lot of bands that go over and play in Europe. I know, like, Bob Wayne plays over there a lot as well. Mm-hmm. And it's, like, a completely different market. It's completely different. You know, you guys have the contacts you have, you know, in the United States. How difficult is it booking a tour overseas that you've never been? Compared to your booking now.
I was watching Men in Black. I don't know. We've had some people help us over there. Some of the same cats that are helping a lot of the bands. Kurt and Nico and Till are helping us book a lot of the stuff. And I mean, I do booking for several bands around the States. But yeah, that would be without help. That would be a big pain in the ass. Now,
logistic wise, how are you going to go about getting stuff over there, or has that even been discussed? I know, like, a lot of bands. Rent instruments over there. Some people take their stuff with them. If you guys...
We're going to bring some stuff, see what we can get filled in on the back line. We're going to bring some of the, like mandolin and trombone stuff.
I built another travel bass that I'm planning on using.
Okay.
Yeah, Mark's cool.
Tell us about the travel bass.
5 or 6 years ago, I went with Cletus Got Shot. We did a couple weeks in Europe, and I built a suitcase bass that the suitcase body is the bass, and it all folds up inside it, and it worked. Played like 22 shows.
Oh wow! Okay.
On that, and then I built a much nicer one for this trip. Planning on using that.
Awesome.
And the merch is coming over on a Viking longship.
Viking?
Yeah.
How long?
You mean? Yeah. Are you shipping it now?
No, it's gone. It left already.
Yeah.
They're rowing it over there.
It's got the new album on it.
They've only lost 2 crew members yet.
So
and then Bjarg.
So you're in the van now, and one of the questions I'm always interested in the
It's a bus.
Yeah,
but no
bus van. The bus van.
Thanks there, buddy.
So who spends most time behind the wheel?
Grub.
I probably
He
do.
can drive. He's a driver.
Tyler Grubb.
He's an
Also known as
driver.
Cole.
He likes backing
Cole
it in.
Trickle.
I like backing it.
He really likes backing it
I
up.
enjoy driving. It's therapeutic. See the miles go
He
down.
can parallel park it. I won't. I don't
Like the
even
high
come near
stress,
trying it.
the high stress situations I like Chicago, going into the city. I enjoy that more than dread it.
freaks
So
the
like
fuck
I
out.
like it. I get stressed out about it, but I still enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I definitely don't hit parked cars, so I mean.
Yeah, Jared has never hit 2 parked cars in
6 minutes.
minutes.
In one block.
So on this,
In an unnamed city.
who's the one band member that is usually everybody's waiting on? Whether to get back in the van after stopping or after a gig, who's the one that everybody's watching their watch going, Jesus, it's taking a long time.
honestly,
Brody.
it used to be Brody, but
It used to be, buddy.
Segue. Thank you, Garrett. That was perfect. So
Yeah, this
I don't
one
know.
was second too.
Zach has
Pretty
more
pumped.
shit to carry and more shit to set up, so we're all usually done
just waiting on the drummer. So
stuff.
it was, Garrett brought up, for a lot of people that know Carrie Nation Speakeasy, they noticed that Brody is not with the band right now. Can you guys talk about that situation, or whoever wants to take that?
Well, he's busy in Wichita doing a bunch of stuff, playing with a bunch of different projects and acts and doing sound and stuff. And he made the decision quite a while ago, into last year, to pursue other things. We just kind of kept it under wraps while we, finished out the end of the year. And he was boss about it. Gave us a good 6 or 8 months notice and everything. And
So it ended on good terms with him.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
He started missing out on things that he just didn't want to miss out
Sure,
on anymore.
sure.
And that's what traveling in a band and on the road, you don't get to hang out with friends. You don't get to, have those home relationships
Sure.
that he really wanted. And
he really loves his little Kansas community and the festivals and stuff he goes to.
Sure.
and
exactly.
I'm sure he got tired of missing things like spring break and.
Because you guys, how long have you guys been together as a band?
As
8
a
years,
whole,
7 years.
About 8 years.
It's 8 years now.
So it's kind of understandable that after a while.
Almost of 7.
Yeah,
Now-
'cause he's been in the band most of those years. He was in the band for 6
Since like
6 years or
late
so.
09, early at 10.
So how did you two come to be in the band?
I replaced their old banjo player, Matt Dreyer, that was from Kansas, and we'd go to the same bluegrass festival, and the guys asked me if I wanted to sit in, and then just kind of snuck around, kept coming to the shows, and they didn't tell me to leave. And
Right.
so learned the songs on stage, and
Awesome.
3 years later.
And how about you, Mark?
Jared called me and gave me a heads up and said that Brody was leaving, and they were gonna have to find somebody just to see if I was interested. And it was several months before it actually happened. Like I
Sure.
had plenty of time, and I've been staying home. My bandmates from Cletus Got Shot are both married with kids. That's why
Sure.
that band doesn't exist
Sure.
anymore. But I'm single and really got nothing else going
You
on.
hear that, ladies?
Yeah.
The real story.
Sure.
So it was pretty much like, do you want to get in the van and do it again? And I was like, well, I'm still in a position I can do that.
Sure,
And
sure.
I wasn't really done when Cletus was done.
Sure.
I kind of missed it.
Sure.
Mark wrecked our old van and owed us quite a bit of money. And we rolled dice for it. And, if I win, he can play off his debt, or if he wins, he can play off his debt. If I win, he had to pay off his debt, and so now he's working it off,
Indentured
show by
Attention,
show.
sir.
Yeah.
The whole time he's over on the screen going,
Yeah.
someone help.
We disabled his personal Facebook account and everything, so he's not able to,
Communicate with
contact-
anyone.
Yeah, he's on lockdown, so.
So, okay. So, Sturgill Simpson, I'm assuming everyone knows who he is.
Nope.
Okay. So, he had an amazing year of
Yeah.
going from playing a bar to 3 people to getting signed to a label. And I guess I just wanted to see your guys' opinion because, why isn't there more roots and independent bands such as yourselves was it just dumb luck, or, how do you think, because like I said, I've been doing this for 8 years. I know a lot of you guys, and a lot of you guys bust your ass for a long, long time, and it just seems like this was, he did have he did perform for quite a while, but it just seemed like everything happened that was supposed to happen for him. When you guys hear about that, about someone like that, what do you guys think of that?
Well, I mean, it depends on what your goals are, really. I mean,
And what label he signed to, it could be just some
Sure.
guy that gave him $2,000.
Sure.
but
Here
yeah, I
you
mean,
go, I
like,
got a label.
Right.
like it's where your goals are, and like, if that's what you're trying to do is get, on bigger labels to do that kind of stuff, that's rad. But like, we're trying to build grassroots fan bases basically, and play places where we know the people, and basically pay our bills with it and stuff. We're not I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's luck because, you know, it was he worked his ass off for it. You know, like,
I was just curious to, you know, since it all kind of went boom, I was just curious to see, you know, another band's reaction, you know, to a situation like that. So, what do you guys have scheduled for festivals this year?
we're doing
Wakarusa.
Yeah, Wakarusa in Arkansas.
And also same site in the fall it's now Phases of the Moon.
Yeah, Phases of
It used
the
to be
Moon.
Harvest Fest, but that's the same site.
Muddy Roots Europe, Muddy Roots Tennessee.
What's the one in Salina, that
The
weekender
Smoky-
thing?
Yeah, we're doing the Salina, the Smoky Hill River Festival. We're doing the Wichita River Festival,
We just
which
got-
our buddy Adam Harkey books. It's a pretty cool lineup
Getting
this
some
year.
really good bands in the last couple of years.
Now, with a lot of these festivals, are there bookers coming to you guys and asking you to play, or is it one of those things like, you know, these are going to happen every year? Every year, you kind of throw your name into the hat and work around those. Or how does that go about?
It's probably a little bit of both, and like it's just kind of timing. You know what? I think Jared touched on goals that everybody sets for themselves. You know, playing a certain circuit or playing certain venues and getting in touch with certain people. It's all
Sure.
about timing and when you want to do it. This year was one of those years that we wanted to play a couple more festivals instead of reaching out like we did last year, going all to all the corners of the country
Sure,
and all
sure.
the coasts and all that. This year's a little bit more just kind of
Sure.
focusing on that kind of circuit,
'Cause,
the
you know,
festival circuit.
Playing a festival, that's maybe 2 weeks worth of touring. In a lot of instances, being able to reach that many people, you can get it all kind of in
one shot,
In one
yeah.
shot. So
Yeah.
it's kind of a win-win situation. You know, you're not having to spend as much time to reach those people. So, you know, there's a lot of bands that are releasing vinyl records now. The vinyl records are back.
Oh yeah.
But I was wanting to know, like, you guys just released both of your albums on vinyl not too long ago. How did you guys come to that decision? And for a band, I know that it's a very expensive to
It's very
do.
expensive.
And so, when did you guys kind of make that decision as a band to say, let's put these out?
I think we'd wanted to.
Yeah, that was goals. That was one of the goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd wanted to do vinyl for. I mean, since we had started putting together the first album, but it's just
It's all about saving the
Yeah,
capital
it's a lot
to
of
do
money
it.
at once.
had to get the
Sure.
CDs out
We
first.
just never did it. Like, we couldn't get the capital together.
Sure.
Like, it's like,
Sure,
hey,
yeah.
we need that money to buy tires
Right.
or food.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, we knew they would sell just because there's demand for it. Obviously, you
Sure.
know, everyone's doing the vinyl, and vinyl is one of those things that you have people that seek those out. Like as soon as we got our merch online, and the vinyls were a part of that initial push, that's what the traffic was.
Sure.
That's what people were going online and finding. If they were looking for something, it was vinyl.
Sure.
So it's one of those collector's items, and people could buy it and not even play the damn thing
Right.
or have a record player.
Could
They
put
just
it in a
want
frame on their wall.
they want the art. They
Right,
want that. So, but it's a big goal, like you said. It's expensive, so you got to put the work
Sure.
into it to
Sure.
raise that money to do it for the initial buy.
Right.
I mean, you'll drop. I mean, you'll
A lot of money.
Yeah.
you'll drop a lot of money, a lot of months of traveling
Sure.
to earn all that stuff to knock it back.
And Josh Finley that does our art does badass art. It's just not the same on.
Right. On a CD
I was
cover,
yeah.
or yeah,
You know,
Yeah,
definitely.
format.
That, you know, and that's why a lot of your gig posters that I know he's done over the years, and they're all, you know, they catch the eye of the passerby too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So okay, I will go through everybody, and I want you to describe Kanye West in one word. Mark, you start.
Who's that?
Good. Okay.
What?
Kanye, I don't know.
Pompous.
Pompous. There you go. So let's see. What other questions did I have? Oh, I had a question for the lead singer. Oh. In the meantime, no.
Sorry, he's on a beer run.
That's a beer. You could have got the kid to do it. That would have been fine.
Get
We needed beer. Right. I always like to ask songwriters about songs, and I wanted to find one of the songs that you guys have written to tell me a little bit about where it came from. and it's off your first album. I Saw Your Daughter. Can you tell me how that? Because that song is very specific of like it's not just I'm sitting in a van, and I come up with an idea. It seems as though it's a very specific situation. Where did that song come about from?
Well, it wasn't like super specific, like one person, but I'd had friends and knew people that just like would, in passing conversation, basically explain how they're a shitty dad and not do anything about it. Dudes who like want to party more or don't want to take care of shit and deal with the repercussions of their decisions. So I don't know. It's just something that has bugged me. The irresponsibility. So it's not about one specific person.
Well, the thing I like about that song is that kind of situation where you're kind of ignoring your kids is something that develops slowly. It's not something you just intentionally do, or think like right when you have a kid, I'm gonna be
out
absent father.
Right.
So I think it's kind of cool for people when they're younger to hear that song and have that kind of rattling around in their head before they might even ever have kids, or if they do.
I think it's one of those things. It's appropriate to shame someone for that.
Mm-hmm.
Be like, hey, you're being selfish.
Right.
Like, I don't think it's okay. You shouldn't think it's okay.
And I always follow that song up like not always, but like it's like take care of your kids. Like try to make somebody who's not gonna break into my shit when they grow up.
Right.
Try to make a person that's not a douchebag.
Right. For me as a listener and as a fan, when I hear that song, I have 2 children and who, and I try very hard to be the complete opposite, and I get a lot of roadblocks, but I continue to try. So that song just kind of reminds me that like it's not easy. There's the other side of that coin too, that there's women that can make that very uneasy to do that. So it's just one of those things that I sparked. I love to find out why people write songs and what inspires them to write songs. When you guys are putting together new music, do you do that while you're on tour, like while you're in the bus, or bus not van?
Yeah,
right. Bus not van. I mean, where does the creative side usually happen? Is it when you're off the road, or when you're on the road?
We don't do much writing on the road. Like lyrically writing, at least. Like I write all the lyrics, so like I do that at my house, by myself, writing a bunch of coffee and cigarettes and substances and stuff. So, but then basically I'll bring a sketchy idea and won't have the words finished and won't have like any parts or anything, just kind of a chord progression or an idea and a content idea of the song, and usually work some shit out with Grub first about,
arrangement
and, maybe ideas for themes for the song and stuff. And then it gets, I think, brought up to the whole band maybe 2 times, and then we start playing it live, and then that's how it gets practiced for.
Right, because that was my next question is, how long do you guys work on it? But like I say, you work on it a couple times and then just play it live. That's kind of the only.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of how it's always been with our band. The songs get written and they get worked out, but then once they get onto the stage and we play it and play it and play it and play it and play it, they almost get a second kind of win and a second life, and they develop into something a little differently. And it's not completely opposite. We're not writing a new song up there, but dynamics start to settle in, and little parts start to work themselves out. Just
do something out of nowhere one night, and then it ends up every night.
That's what we do, from now on.
Sure.
Just because, even the intro of like Mama's Little Baby live, when Rev started playing with us, he was just like, it'd be cool if we did this. And now there's this whole intro to that song that never existed before him, never was sat down and actually written. It was just, let's try this out and see what it works.
So a lot of times, you might have a song that you start out with, and 2 years down the road, it might almost be completely different, or have a
different beat.
Different.
It'll definitely be longer.
Yeah.
So with you guys being the newer members of the band, and I know you've known the guys a long time, how has it been? I mean, when you get in the van with these guys, I mean, these 3 have been around each other every day, all day. Is it difficult to kind of merge into the flow of things, or since you had been in traveling bands, is it kind of just it's all the same kind of blueprint?
I mean, it was definitely helped doing it before for so long, but there's still just learning people's personalities
of course.
and, you know, how to make it through day after day after day and still keep it fun and, you know, not take it too serious. And so...
It's easier than I thought it was going to be because I know people have like interpersonal disagreements and like get butthurt about things occasionally, but you have to consciously try not to, and then let it go.
Sure.
Like you're going to get into it, talk it out, and let it go.
Sure.
And, like, I've known these guys for years, but I barely knew Garrett when I got on the bus, and it turns out like we get along great. And I was like, well, it could have gone the other way.
Right. You could
I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, I know, and I'm always amazed that you can get a group of guys together in a bus and be on the road for 2 weeks, 3 months. Whereas even with being brothers, I couldn't, like my own brother, I'm like, I could not spend that much time, you know, with my own brother. So it's kind of crazy that, you know, when you're, like you said, you're bringing yourself into a rotation that already has a rotation. Yeah. It's not 4 or 5 guys that have never been in a band saying, okay, we're going to start this, and then, you know, just digging it out as you go along. So what 2015 is here. You're going overseas. You're playing festivals. When December rolls around, 2015, how do you guys measure? Has it been a good? You know, obviously dollars, record sales, how much merch you sell, but how do you, in your minds, just what makes you say this has been a good year or this was a successful year?
Yo. Money over everything.
Money's and bitches.
Yo, Mom. Money over everything.
Be the name of the episode.
I think it's reaching the goals that you want, that you set for yourself, and like one of the goals, I think going to Europe is a big one.
Sure.
So that's like for this year, that's one of those steps moving forward from what we've ever done in the years prior.
Definitely.
And so as soon as like December rolls around the year prior, and what makes me say, yeah, I'm going to do this another year, is just knowing that it is moving forward in some kind of direction.
Sure. Yeah,
and
for me, that's fans. Like if there's new people that we've picked up in each city, you know, if we went through the whole entire year and only the same people that have been coming out to see us came and saw us, I wouldn't be completely disappointed. But like the forward motion for me comes from more people, their friends showing
up.
Guys,
thank you so much for being on the show. Definitely check out Carrie Nation and the Speakeasy when they're in town, or even when they're not in town. Drive that hour and a half to go see them. It's definitely worth it. Guys, welcome to IBWIP Studios.
Thanks for having us.
So, all right, thank you very much, and thank you to our video handler,
Garrett.
Garrett.